You're listening to 91 Reasons, a journey into the twisted landscape of pop culture. Keep your hands and arms inside the podcast at all times. And now, the voice, Jeff Tucker.
Well, look at this, true believers. Look at this. Listen to this. I actually managed to do basically my first show interviewing people and talking about things that are actually current. Like what I'm talking about in this episode has not occurred 30 years in the past. No, it's happening this coming month in May. Yes, it's happening Saturday, May 9th, 2015 at the Popzilla Gallery in Anaheim. You will hear all the information in the show, and it'll all be in the show notes. But I was able to sit down with Ryan and Sam from Popzilla Gallery. They're the curators, and they have put together what's going to be a really fun event. It's a Back to the Future themed art show. And they're going to have a DeLorean there. Like, you're going to hear it all in the episode. It's great. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be there. So I hope you can come down and check it out. A lot of invites have gone out over Facebook. But, hey, 2015 is the year of Back to the Future. This is the year that all of us fans have been waiting for. And you know what? It has not disappointed because there's been a plethora, not of piñatas, but a plethora of Back to the Future events for all of us fans to go to. And we're really getting like the promise of Back to the Future. The first real amazing merchandise has yet to come out. The Hot Toys Marty, the Hot Toys DeLorean, and I'm sure the Hot Toys Doc will be coming soon. There are a lot of events coming up, and it just so happens that this one is next month, and it's just around the corner in Anaheim. So check out this cool interview I did with Ryan and Sam from Popzilla, and join us, won't you, at the Time After Time Back to the Future Time Travel and Pop Culture Art Show. All right, we are deep within the hidden archives at a secret location, and we are here to talk about, well, let me just introduce, you know me, I'm the voice, I'm Jeff Tucker, and I'm here with two guys. Who are you guys?
Sam Carter.
Ryan Batchelor.
And you guys are the people behind what exactly? They can tell by the title of the episode, but explain what it is.
We're the curators of Popzilla Gallery. We're a group of artists. We do about 2 shows a year. We pick a handful of random pop culture themes and have about 50 to 60 to 70 artists come in and just do fun pop art based on whatever the theme is.
And this is what show number is this one?
This might be 7 or 8, I think, maybe 8.
Yeah. Our first show was 2012. Yeah. It was a Disneyland themed show called Rat Trap, and then since then we've done steampunk, and we've done Star Wars, and we've done video games, and we did Tim Burton last year for Halloween, and now we're doing Back to the Future for our next show. Now,
I looked at the archives on your Facebook page, and some of the art is truly amazing. And what it is it does 2 things. It gives you an appreciation for somebody's talent, which I can't draw very well, so people who draw, I'm amazed, because if I could draw, I would just sit drawing women all day, like this, like J. Scott Campbell, right? But the other thing is that you guys take these pop culture ideas or themes and you let them go wild, and what happens is you get like the term's mashup, right? Which I hate that term because you basically think of food or something. Oh, it's a mashup. No, it's like, I prefer like, it's a crossover. You know, it's a crossover of these. And you guys were just talking about the Rat Trap, which was like, what in relation to Disneyland, how would you do, what is Rat Trap? Is it like the dark side of Disney?
Pretty much. It was kind of a roast of Disneyland, kind of making fun of it. We did our own various attractions. We made fun of existing attractions. But it was basically a show just kind of taking the idea of Disneyland and taking our own spin on it.
And we all work there. That's the thing, too. We've been there for years, and we're not there anymore. But when you work there for a long time, there's a lot of inside jokes. So we wanted to give it that celebrity roast treatment and do it through art.
And what did you do at the park?
I worked in entertainment. I started in '95, worked through parades for about a decade, and then went over to work in TDA and creative entertainment.
Oh, that's cool. Did you work at the park too?
Yeah, I worked in attractions, did a Jungle Cruise and all the West Side attractions, and then transferred to entertainment to do Fantasmic, and then I moved on to other careers after that.
Okay, because I was the mayor of both Frontierland and the mayor of Main Street for 3 years.
way.
So it was 2006, 7, and 8.
I'm sure I saw you then.
I haven't done that episode, but it's coming. But part of that was just the surreal idea. Like Disneyland means so much to so many people, and there's no such thing as a slow day.
Right.
Right.
No off season anymore.
There's no off season anymore. Exactly. So they called me in. It was during the year of a million dreams, or the year and a half of a million dreams, and my job was to sit with the people who won the Dream Suite and take them down the parade route.
Because I remember you in the Grand Marshal vehicle.
Yes, exactly. So the first time, we didn't have a rehearsal, and the first time we did it, they handed me a live microphone.
Oh man!
And it wasn't a big deal going by Small World or Alice in Wonderland. And then we crested the hub, and I could see all the way from the hub to the train station. And there must have been 15,000 people, and I had a live mic with no rehearsal.
That sounds dangerous.
And I was like, what exactly do they want me to say? Now, I'm a professional. I'm an improv guy, so I just started rapping about the family and what they had won. And that's what they wanted. But I thought, gosh, how long would it take the engineer to turn this mic off if I started talking inappropriately, or an ad or something, or if I was like, Knott's Berry Farm rules? I mean, it was weird because I was being borrowed from Laughingstock to go over to another department. They didn't know me. They didn't know what I was capable of. It was a very surreal, one of my favorite performing moments of all time was sitting in that car and seeing the people on the parade route and like, who would have thought you'd ever get a live mic down Main Street? So yeah, no, working at Disney was great. That's a whole other episode. But you guys, you were just saying like you had the hitchhiking ghosts from the Haunted Mansion, but they were drawn as the Ghostbusters.
Right.
Like that's great.
I did a Trader Sam piece where he was like this kind of crazy cable access, used car salesman. He's and had all the, the jokes in the image, and that sold pretty well. That was probably my most popular piece from that show. Was the Trader Sam.
Oh really? Oh, that's
I think
from the
like,
Jungle Cruise.
The Jungle Cruise, yeah. I think there's nobody really does Trader Sam art. People like tiki, theme things.
Yeah, sure.
That was pretty popular.
But not the actual headhunter guy.
Oh, no, it was actual Trader Sam, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
The mask and all, yeah.
Yeah. The guy's like 2 of his heads for 1 of yours, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. I'm not one of those Disney, I'm going to piss people off, I'm not one of those Disney weirdos, but I have a real love for the park. I mean, you can't grow up in Southern California and not have, we all have the same story. The one time you went every year to Disneyland, it was like a 3-week buildup. We're going to go to Disneyland. We're talking about it. We're planning it, and then you go. And this is back when you had ticket books, and I would save all my B tickets, and we would hit Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. We'd go in all the way around, all the way down, another ticket in, all the way out. As many times as we could because we had all these tickets. And the B ticket, I think, also got you into Mr. Lincoln, but you can only really do that once, otherwise you'd pull your hair out. But what were some of the other themes of your shows?
You know what's cool? Kind of like an inside thing is, I don't know if you know Maynard. He's kind of infamous for he's a famous cast member at the park.
He has like the most guest compliments of any.
Yeah, he works like Haunted Mansion. He could be really super creepy in the mansion, but he also works the tiki room and stuff. So I just wanted to do this cool portrait of Maynard. And actually, like I thought most people didn't know who the hell he was, but when people did know Maynard, they're like, oh my God, there's a portrait of Maynard on this wall in a Disneyland show. What's neat about it is Maynard actually showed up to the gallery, so that was kind of cool. Like,
that's fantastic.
He showed up and he looks at the wall and he's like, holy crap, So that was kind of like a neat full circle thing.
At the same time, they have that security guard who pepper sprayed that guy by Tower of Terror, if you remember that.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen the video, yeah.
So I did an image of this kind of heavy-set, cartoon-looking security guard, the total Disneyland security guard outfit, and it said, welcome to the Rat Trap Gallery. Anyone seen touching the artwork will be pepper sprayed repeatedly.
Oh, that's great.
With his pepper spray, like all mean. But it was kind of funny. So we do stuff like that, just making fun of the park.
Yeah, I have a tape somewhere. I got to dig it up because I'm sure the audio would be fine on the show. In 1999, I went to the park with a video camera, and I had rigged it so you couldn't tell it was taping. And I basically just annoyed all the cast members. And it's me walking through the park like I go into the Mad Hatter shop, and I ask them if they know where they sell hats in the park. And the woman just gives me the dirtiest look. She's like, right here? Or like at the Autopia, I go up and I go, look, I've had a few DUIs. Is that going to affect my ability to ride? And the woman's like, it's fine, sir. And it just was really nice because everybody there was so nice. Like, I was deliberately goading people into yelling at me, and nobody took the bait. I went up to like 2 members of management, and I had a Knott's Berry Farm map, and I was like, I can't find where I'm at. And the lady's like, this isn't our park, sir. Oh, okay. So yeah, my favorite though is, you know, the glassware shop that has the big castle on Main Street? I went in there and I said, do you know where they sell Disney glassware? And she sent me somewhere else. She's like, you could try the Emporium. I was like, okay. And she's literally surrounded by glassware. So okay, enough Disneyland, right? Yeah. So your newest one is near and dear to my heart. And that's how we kind of met, because you were at WonderCon, you were displaying your art, which is fantastic, by the way. And it was hard to choose something to buy at your place because there were so many good choices.
That's a good problem to have.
Sure, all of your artwork is fantastic. I was mesmerized, but there was one piece in particular. It was the Lydia Dietz Beetlejuice, because Winona Ryder's kind of my thing.
Oh, she's hot.
I've done 2 hours of her on my show. I did a 2-parter where I went through her whole career. So yeah, she's my celebrity pass with my wife. So
that's a good one to have. Are you stoked about the Beetlejuice sequel?
No.
No?
No. Can you name a sequel?
Caddyshack 2. Wait, for example.
Yeah, no, name one that's been where they wait this long and they all get together
I don't think
and it's good. It never happens.
I think Jones 4 turned out really well.
Oh yeah, Crystal Skull, right? Did he just say Crystal Skull?
Yeah.
Yeah, that people will turn off the podcast if you mention Crystal Skull in a positive way.
It made me sick to my stomach. I mean, I love the movie theater. I think something like died inside of me after watching that.
Yeah, well, my thing was we went to the drive-in to see it because where I live there are still 2 drive-ins. And the idea was I'll take the kids to the drive-in and then I'll go the next day and really watch it. I did not go the next day. Crystal Skull, as it unspooled on the screen, I was in shock. Like, how did that many people get together and make something so terrible? I have no idea. Nobody at anywhere down the line said this is a bad idea. They went through, and I've got the making of Raiders book where they talk in depth about Crystal Skull. They went through so many incredibly bad scripts that they should have just said, you know what, it's not worth making. I know that everybody wanted to make money, and I'm happy that for a while, Indiana Jones toys were at Target, and they didn't just make Crystal Skull. They made Temple of Doom, Raiders, Last Crusade. They made all the lines, all the vehicles. I'm happy about that, but look what they did to the character. All the goodwill that Last Crusade garnered with them riding off into the sunset was completely undone when Mutt swings out of the jungle with monkeys. What? And the idea that like they said in all the interviews, well, there will be very minimal CGI. Like it was practically a cartoon. So, well, you said Caddyshack 2?
Yeah, I was just kidding
the
about
Jackie
that.
Mason Caddyshack 2?
Bad.
Yeah.
Blues Brothers 2000, that was good.
Yeah, Blues Brothers. Yeah. Hey, John Belushi's dead. We can get his brother, Jim Belushi. People love Jim Belushi, right? Oh, they don't?
Even he knew it was bad. They had to have John Goodman. It was terrible.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's not Jim Belushi.
No.
It's John Goodman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, we had a guy.
And they added a kid. Hey, there's a kid.
We had a guy who worked here, and that's his brother. It's the same kid from Three Ninjas. And that whole summer that movie came out, the guy was a rat because his brother's in this big, high-profile John Landis movie. And I'm like, look, man, don't worry. This is going to be not to besmirch his brother, but this movie's going to tank. But there's just very few times you can go back to a well after that long and recapture. And the thing with Beetlejuice, and I have not done a Beetlejuice show. I talked about it on my Winona Ryder episodes, but look at the script. The script was written by Michael McDowell, and it must look on paper a mess. You know, Barbara Mayton falls out a window and is on Saturn, and you see sandworms. Like who made? Only Tim Burton in his heyday could have made sense of a script like that. And you know that Tim Burton today, it's going to be nothing but CGI everywhere. Michael Keaton will be in it for 10 minutes, and the rest of the time it'll be a Michael Keaton CGI character. You know, he'll be morphing into snakes. I want to see it as much as anybody, but I know it's going to be terrible.
Hopefully we're surprised, but I actually liked, I laughed my ass off at Dumb and Dumber 2, and maybe that's because I was slightly drunk, but there were some good laughs in Dumb and Dumber 2, but that's just because Jim Carrey's pretty awesome.
I like Jim Carrey. Yeah, I did go see Dumb and Dumber 2. I was stunned at what's happened to Kathleen Turner, but
oh yeah,
what
that's
happened?
sad, yeah.
Like have you ever seen Body Heat?
Oh yeah.
Like it's hard to equate that's the same person.
That's why God invented Skinamax.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly, right? For Body Heat? Yeah. And Andy Sedaris. Not Andy Sedaris. Is Andy Sedaris, the guy who did all of the Skinamax movies in the early 90s, like Picasso Trigger, and I have all these boxes. I collect schlock.
Oh, man.
It's funny to rail on Crystal Skull and then admit that I have like a box set of every horrible movie made in the 80s called the Too Cool for School Collection.
That just means you know about terrible movies.
Oh yeah,
so you can talk it.
I'm a connoisseur.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying your Lydia original.
Right. That was one from our Burton show. It didn't sell from the gallery, so I just had it. Let's have it on display.
I'm shocked because it's beautiful. I cannot wait. See, I'm moving, so everything I have is packed.
Right.
But when I move into my new place, I'm going to put up an office and make it. My office is nothing but pictures of Winona Ryder. Like they're to the degree that I bought one of those Us magazine coffee table books of her, and I just X-Acto knifed every page out of it and put it on the wall. My wife helped me hang this. This is the dumbest thing you've ever heard of. So, I'm a little nuts.
Is there a restraining order? What are we talking about?
I've only gotten close to her one time. I camped out at the premiere of Alien Resurrection, and I got within about 15 feet before the cop told me to get off of the news. I was standing on a newspaper machine, and he's like, "Hey, get down, pal." And I was like, "But it's Winona." He goes, "Get down." I was like, "I don't want to get arrested."
Yeah.
But yeah.
She's a hottie.
Yeah, and she's crazy. So hot and crazy. That's my ultimate.
She's a klepto.
Yeah, sure. She stole my heart.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So your new show and what we're talking about, but this is 91 Reasons. We go all around and then we get to it. Your new show is Back to the Future theme, or time machine and time travel theme.
It's a funny story. We started with having it's 2015 coming up. It's a few years ago. We knew we had to do a Back to the Future tribute show. Plus, I knew there was going to be probably 5 other Back to the Future tribute shows because it's the big year.
Yeah, they just did one at Nerdist.
It looked awesome.
Meltdown.
It looked really good.
And I was all ready to go, and then I had to work late here, and I was so angry. And then, against all better judgment, I clicked on the link, and Bob Gale was there. And I've never met Bob Gale.
Hopefully he'll come to ours. But yeah, so we wanted to do a Back to the Future show, and we knew there's going to be a lot of it, so we wanted to do it earlier in the year. It'd be great to do it in October when the real date happened, but with the gallery, it was going to be in March. We got pushed to May, which is still fine. It gave us more time to make the art. But we have like a group of regular artists we go to. There's about maybe 30 artists that are returning in our shows all the time, but every show we get more and more new people because they hear about us, they want to be in the show. So we actually ask everyone to send us samples of their art, and when you see their art, you're like, yeah, we need to have you. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, you can tell right away if the style's going to jive.
Exactly, and we wanted to feel part of Popzilla. What we really like too is when artists take on their own stance of a character. A lot of talented artists can just draw a character from a movie, but then it's just the character from the movie. Like I love when it's their own version of it. That's what I think makes us more memorable.
Well, that's what makes art.
Totally.
Is taking something and not just regurgitating it, but really putting your own spin on it. There's people walking through here. I don't think they realize that it's not open. So I'll tell you the one bona fide mistake in the movie.
Okay.
There's a huge error in Back to the Future.
Part 1?
2.
Part 2.
2 is going to have the most because 2 is the one they're monkeying around way too much with the space-time continuum.
At least Doc has the chalkboard and.
Well, that was weird. I worked at the video store when it came out, and people would bring it back, and we'd have 30-minute discussions.
Everyone's confused.
because everyone's confused. And I always said, for the dummies in the audience, he actually draws the movie out and then tells you that they're on a tangent. What part of that...
Did they go get popcorn at that scene?
Well, it's the same people who tried... they'd come up to the counter and they'd say, do you have that movie Abyss? And I'd go, you mean The Abyss? Oh, yeah, that one. And then you get mad at that one because The Abyss is a great movie that in the end is suddenly about aliens, and that pissed everybody off. Like, this is stupid. It's got aliens. Well, they're in the first few minutes. I forgot that part. It's 3 hours long, anyways. But Back to the Future 2, if you're following, here's what I do. I'm a big supporter of whatever rules you set up in the movie are what you have to abide by. They don't have to match up from movie to movie, because in Twilight they make vampires by having sex. That goes against every vampire movie I've ever seen. It's 3 bites and you're a vampire. Suddenly he's dead. How could he have a baby? He's dead, right? Okay. So, but in the context of that universe, that's how it works. So whatever. But in the context of Back to the Future, Einstein leaves the existence and jumps over that minute to instantly arrive at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. He's not there during the minute that he's traveling, right?
So where is he?
He jumped over. He doesn't exist. Okay. He moved from that time to that time. The big error is if Jennifer and Marty get into the DeLorean in 1985 and they fly into the sky and go to 2015, they're going to the 2015 where they're missing. Because they got into a car and left. They didn't grow up in that timeline. So when they go to the future, they should not be able to see themselves. Because they're in a timeline where Marty and Jennifer on that day vanished off the face of the earth and we never found them. But it's okay because if they don't see themselves in Hilldale, there's no movie. So you have to, me, the nerd of all nerds, has to go, we have to forgive them, or there's no movie, or you have to, now Back to the Future 2 came out 6 months or 7 months after Bill and Ted. And so you have to give it the Bill and Ted pass. And the Bill and Ted pass is the whole finale of Bill and Ted hinges on they're going to set up all this stuff after the movie ends. Remember a trash can, and then a trash can falls. So you just have to, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You have to extrapolate that they eventually are going to be returned to their timeline and are able to grow old, and that's why they're there.
It's the just go with it theory.
Yeah, you know what it is? The best scene, the best scene of that ever is Spy Who Shagged Me. Oh, because right. Austin says, if I go to the future and I meet myself, how can I meet myself? And then Basil says, don't worry about it. It looks at the audience and he goes, that goes for you guys too. And I'm like, as a time travel nerd, I stood up in the theater and was like, that's it. Yeah. He's just basically said they can do whatever they want and it's okay.
It's just a movie. Well, we're going to have Austin Powers art in the...
Are you really?
Oh, of course. Well, it's a time travel movie.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Even though technically in the first one he was frozen, but he's still transported from one time to another.
Yeah.
Through being frozen, but...
Yeah.
We'll have some Austin Powers stuff.
Also, Time Bandits.
Oh, yeah.
I always saw a preview of one where it's that giant walking wearing that ship as a hat.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love Time Bandits.
Time Bandits. I know it's like it needs to be remade now. It's been so long.
Yeah. Our artist invite, we had about maybe 20 movies that we kind of we went through. What are the time travel movies? And Time Bandits was on there. There's like a lot that you don't even realize are there. Yeah. And then we also we tell the artists too, hey, pick from these if you can, but if you want something that's not on here, just run it by us. Because we want to make sure that, we don't have something on the wall that's like, why the hell is that there? And after they spent months working on something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So Time After Time?
Yeah, ironically, Mary Steenburgen's in that too.
Yeah.
Very similar scene. That's on YouTube lately too, how they're floating around the scene from Back to the Future 3 and the scene in Time After Time. It's really similar.
Oh yeah, because he says, he's like, I'm a time traveler.
Yeah.
I'm from the past. I came here in a time machine that I invented. Like, it's so close to the same woman that it's fantastic. Yeah. What other big time travel? Like, is Buck Rogers? Would you consider that a time travel movie? He's frozen and wakes up in the future.
We haven't had anything for that yet. But there's Futurama. There's stuff from The Simpsons when they time travel. There's
The Simpsons time travel episode is considered the worst episode of the entire series.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know that one?
Have to do it.
That's the one where Homer and Marge are in the White House looking for Lincoln's gold, and Lisa's the president. It's Entertainment Weekly labeled it the worst. Wow. And they've done others, But that one in particular is labeled the worst episode of the entire run.
Yeah, maybe we'll take them out.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, there's all those kind of different movies, and it's going to be a good mix of everything. But it's mostly Back to the Future. It's like the Muppet Vision 3D to celebrate all nations, but mostly America.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way of saying it. That's fantastic. And when you think about time travel movies, I think Back to the Future is arguably, because we're so far from the original George Powell Time Machine, and no one even considers the awful Guy Pearce remake, that I think that when you talk about time travel movies, it's the one that you go to. Right. It's the most accessible, and it's odd because... Oh yeah, it's totally. To me, it's the greatest movie of the '80s. Like it encapsulates the entire decade in a 2-hour movie. But it's weird to think like Back to the Future is always considered like this big special effects movie. There are hardly zero effects in the movie. Marty travels like we see.
Actual models, first of all.
Yeah, oh yeah. We see Einstein disappear in flame trails. Marty's time travel is done through the window with just a flash of light. Yeah. Like there's not, they save the effects for the end where the car vanishes and then obviously the flying car at the end. But no, I just have to say, as a lifetime Back to the Future fan, I'm completely looking forward to this gallery event. I'm going to be there. I'm going to have my trusty recorder here to try to do some interviews with some of the artists if they want to talk about their art. We're encouraging everybody to come down to the show. I'm going to put the address in the show notes. You can ask on Facebook. I'll link to your page so that if people have questions.
That'd be great.
But if you're a fan of pop culture and if you're listening to the show, obviously you've got to be to listen to me drone on and on about movies that haven't seen the screen in 30 years, then you're obviously a fan of pop culture. The best way to support local artists, to encourage people to keep dreaming, and to be in a place where there's a room full of people where everybody there was influenced by the same thing. That's what it's all about. It's about bringing people together. There's a recurring theme of my show, and I didn't know this when I started out. And it's one of those things that you have to discover. And I know I'm beating a dead horse for people who've listened to all the episodes, is that I get a lot of letters from people who tell me that listening to my show is like hearing their own childhood. And they tell me how gratifying it is to learn that they weren't alone. That when they went to the movies and they felt like they're the only person who gets this movie, and then they went home and they bought, like me, I bought the beta tape and watched it again and again, talking about Back to the Future. And people write me and say, you're talking about me, but you're talking about you. And it makes people feel something that has only come about in the last few years, because the geek community has always been the outsider community. Schools are about sports, and you better play football or you're nothing. And suddenly it's flipped, and you go to these Comic Cons, and they're not busy. They're mobbed with people, and everybody's letting their freak flag fly and showing you what they're into. And this is just another one of those great times where you can hang out with people, and there's going to be a DeLorean there. That's fantastic. I have to tell you, I'm in the midst of selling my house right now, and I'm going to come out with enough money to buy a DeLorean. And my wife is terrified that I'm just going to one day come home with...
I think all nerd wives are panicked at some point for that. I know mine is.
Yeah, well, like, I've never had the opportunity. Like, Hot Toys is doing the first ever Marty doll. Oh, I can't wait. I saw it at Comic-Con.
Yeah, we saw it there. Remember, it was that last case.
Yes, Sideshow had it, right? I got a picture of me. It's funny, I was in full cosplay, and I'm up against the glass. You ever seen that picture of... Jiminy Cricket up against the glass of the candy store? That's what I look like.
Like a postcard?
Yeah, and everybody started taking pictures because I'm the only dork in a Back to the Future costume. But I've already told my wife, like, I'm buying the doll. It's $200 plus. I don't care. I'm buying the doll. The car is $700. I can't wait to buy it. And it's funny, at WonderCon, somebody had the Hot Toys tumbler from Batman Begins, $2,000. And I
saw that.
You saw it, right?
I was like, $2,000.
And I said to my wife, that's why I'm buying the DeLorean, because if I don't, it's going to hit $2,000, and I'm never going to be able to afford it.
Yeah, they're actually good investments. All the Sideshow toys, because they're all limited.
They're all limited, right? But the thing is it's never going anywhere once it hits my collection. I usually buy and sell a lot of stuff. I've taken to buying art at these cons, because then I know I'm going to keep it. If I buy another toy, 6 months down the line, I'm just going to sell it on eBay. But art, the last, oh my gosh, 4 cons, that's all I bought is art. So it's all stayed with me on the wall, you know. So the Lydia will go right next to, I think I mentioned the cosplay girl posters I bought. Yeah. My wife's so patient with me. I'm standing next to a girl dressed as Red Sonja in a chainmail bikini, and I'm like, I'll take that one and that one. And my wife's like, just, okay, honey, this is what you want. So
true love.
Yeah, it's exactly. So
we had a Monsterpalooza this year.
I didn't go to Monsterpalooza because they don't offer media badges, and I can't afford the price to take the whole family.
Because they had the life-size Doc and Marty that some guy made.
Yeah.
All the clothing was spot on. The likeness on Marty was a little weird, but the Doc Brown was really good.
You're like the 5th person to say that. But you know, the minute Monsterpalooza opened on Facebook, people just kept sending me that picture. People know me so well, all my friends, that the minute anything Back to the Future shows up, it's on my page. Jeff, look at this, and I'm like, I have to respond every time. Oh, cool.
And it's the same thing 5 times, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm the same way with Golden Girls. For some reason, everyone knows that I like that show. It's like the best show ever. But besides that, anytime there's Golden Girls candles or like stuffed animals,
oh my
or whatever,
God, that's
Lego,
so bizarre.
I get Golden Girls on my page. I'm like, this is weird.
Are you talking about the B. Arthur show or the
B. Arthur,
She-Ra ripoff?
No. We're talking, Betty White.
Oh my God, I've never seen an episode.
I'm leaving.
It's one of those weird things. I did 2 or 3 hours of 70s and 80s sitcoms, and that was the biggest revelation I could come up with. Is like, I've never seen the Golden Girls.
That's
I don't
insane.
have any concept of what
so good.
it is or why people watch it. But it's not because it didn't appeal to me, because I watched everything, but it was simply
it's a bunch of ladies.
There's too much to watch.
Yeah.
Even when I got my beta player and taped a lot of shows, there still wasn't enough time in the day to watch all the shows. Because I was a TV junkie. I mean, we all were, because there was no internet.
Right.
So I just watched religiously every single Night Court, Family Ties, Cosby. I mean, I went through all the shows that I watched, WKRP, you name it. But yours is Golden Girls, huh?
Yeah, a little weird.
Is there Golden Girls merchandise?
Yeah. I think a lot of it's fan-made, but they're talking about Lego Golden Girls. I don't know if that's real or not.
There's no way that's real.
But they made these like religious Jesus candles with each of them. They're amazing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
No, that's where they draw the line.
There's got to be a line somewhere, right?
Yeah.
All right, so give the information one more time in case people weren't paying attention.
Well, we're Popzilla Gallery. Sam Carter and Ryan Batchelor. We're the curators of it. And our next show is May 9th in Anaheim at Rothick Art Haus, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you've ever been to one of the art crawls in downtown Anaheim, it's pretty awesome. There's food trucks, ton of shops, ton of vendors. There's the packing house in Anaheim, which you haven't seen. You got to see that. It's great. A lot of artists, about 60 to 70. We're still narrowing it down. We sell prints too. Like, if not everyone could afford a work of art on the wall, so we offer prints on a lot of that too. And if you go opening night, most of the artists are there and they could sign it for you and come get your picture inside of a DeLorean and have a good time and nerd out with us.
Yeah, we're Popzilla Gallery on Facebook, and we'll have a map and more information posted on the Facebook page as we get closer to the event. We'll also have probably some teasers of some of the art that'll be on display.
That's fantastic. As a guy who saw some of Sam's art at WonderCon, it's well worth checking out. If you're a fan of this stuff, and I know you are because you're listening, it's something unique that's not everybody's going to have. You're going to have a print or something that you can buy. They're very affordable, the prints. And you can take home and you can feel good because you're getting a limited edition item. It's able to cross boundaries because it's art, so they're not beholden to the licensee.
Right. We could do a whole other. You talk about what's all these trademark things out there. Like that's the first thing people ask us. How do you get away with this? And it's art. It's like I think the second we start making millions off of this, they're going to come after us.
Oh yeah, sure.
No one's getting rich here. It's art. We're selling prints for $20. What are you going to do?
I did a whole.
Saying a mashup. It's just artists taking something and making it their own, taking their own unique take on something, and then selling that art. So I mean, it's kind of satire too, and I think that's kind of like how we kind of get away with it, I guess.
What was that guy from OC Weekly? He did an article on us from the last show, and the whole article the headline was really scary. It said, "Are Sam and Bashy standing on the shoulders of giants trying to make a buck?"
Jeez.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Did you tell the guy you're not doing us any favors?
Well, you're not helping. But what's cool about it is the headline was scary like that. And I didn't even want to read the story after that. But I read it, and it said, No, they are not. They're doing their own thing.
Okay.
So he did it just to kind of draw everyone in, but I had a heart attack.
Oh yeah, sure. That's clickbait to the nth degree right
did.
there.
He knows
I
what he's
figured
doing.
some people were going to think that, so we kind of raised that question and then kind of made like a point against it, I guess.
Sounds like Ian Malcolm.
Yeah, right.
You stood on the shoulders of geniuses. You used research that wasn't theirs, and you were so busy thinking about if you could do it, you didn't think if you should do it. And now that you have it, you're gonna sell it. You're gonna put on. I go
Now
on
I'm
for
picturing
days.
him with his shirt unbuttoned, laying down, looking all sexy.
Who, Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
That YouTube clip on our page after that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too awesome. Yeah, we could do a whole tirade. And you guys as artists probably know more than I do. But there was a whole movement. And I remember a series of articles in the LA Times where Disney is the leading company as far as extending copyright and trademark on characters. Because, Snow White should be in public domain by
Right,
now.
it's been that old.
It's old enough.
Mickey too, right?
And Mickey too. And Disney has found ways to continually stretch that and stretch it. And the opponents against it are simply saying art has never prospered or proliferated, trying to say that, with that kind of restriction. The only way you have art is if artists are allowed to take things that are known and subvert them their own way. That's where art comes from. Imagine if people who were related to Shakespeare could copyright his plots. We'd have no entertainment because the guy came up with all of the plots that we've used ever since then. So it'll be interesting to see, because I know that Disney fights tooth and nail over Snow White, but eventually they have to lose. It has to fall into public domain.
That's going to be amazing.
Mickey Mouse too. It just has to.
Yeah.
Because if you set a precedence that a company can hold on to an item, a character, an idea in perpetuity, then nobody's ever going to prosper. Look at what Samsung did. They stole all of Apple's stuff, made $3 billion, and then paid the $800 million or whatever it was in fees. And it's like, we still win.
Yeah.
And that's
worth it.
savvy marketing. So, it's just refreshing to see what happens when art is unencumbered by a bean counter. And that's what your guys' art is, simply that. Because so many of the stuff that we collect, like Star Wars, for example, they have key art things, and you get tired of looking at them. I've seen Darth Vader reaching out for the last 10 years. I've seen Yoda jumping since 2002's Attack of the Clones. They don't ever change. They just slap it on bedspreads and icy cups and packaging. It's like, let an artist take over and have a new, fresh spin. Has Disney ever done one of those where they send out like a Mickey sculpture to 50 people and say, do art on it and then send it back?
They did that for some birthday of his, I think.
Did they really? But I'm sure everybody was vetted and was like, nobody's going to subvert this.
I have a feeling that it was probably an art by committee on all of them.
Oh, I'm sure. Because I know that they've done it with Darth Vader and Boba Fett. And last Comic-Con, it was Batman cowls. Did you see that one?
No.
That was outside of
I did,
Comic-Con.
yeah.
It was pretty cool. But you just don't see Disney letting people take those kinds of liberties. Because Lucasfilm did it, and they got back a pink Darth Vader helmet for breast cancer, and it was shocking. And then 6 months later, they were selling a pink Darth Vader helmet for breast cancer. It's like, oh, well, you've embraced it. That's pretty cool.
Right.
But we'll see now. It's not Lucasfilm anymore. It's Disney and then Lucasfilm.
They're going to tighten it up.
Well, the first thing they did was, they shut down like the Family Guy and Robot Chicken spoofs. I don't think those will happen anymore.
No, those are done.
Yeah.
They shut down Detours. Have you ever seen Detours?
No.
Seth Green did an entire season of Star Wars Detours. And it was like Robot Chicken, but it was all Star Wars. That's gone. They pulled the plug and they're not even available anywhere.
Oh, wow.
They shut it down and said, we're done with that. But no, you'll never see a Family Guy. I'm okay with not seeing any more Family Guy. Not after what they did with... It's one of those things where it's like, hey, that thing you like? Yeah, we're going to destroy it. Well, I thought it was an homage. I thought we're not paying tribute. Oh, Ben Kenobi's going to molest Luke. That's great. Thank you.
Did you see that clip where they have all the outtakes of Harrison Ford saying "I know" and Leia said "I love you" in The Empire Strikes Back? What was it like? Funny or Die or College? One of these Facebook or websites did a spoof on it, and it was always tapes where they had post some other guy's mouth on.
Oh, that's funny.
Saying all these different outtakes they had. It was pretty funny. We used to get a link or something like that. It was a pretty funny clip. We posted on Popzilla.
Yeah, no, I like all that stuff. I just don't like when it's done by the people who tell you that they love it, and then the way that they show you that they love it is to like. I just call it, just take a pee on it. Yeah. I don't understand that. Like, your art is all complimentary and fun, and some of it even takes a second. Mm-hmm. Like, that's great, I get that. Like, you're wearing an Oregon Trail Back to the Future shirt right now. But it'd be easy to just take things and pervert them, and I don't get that. Yeah, I'm not that guy, which is odd because some of the stuff that I've done here at work has been incredibly perverted, especially because I worked on The Hanging for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I helped write that, and some of the stuff that I wrote was awful, but what are you going to do, right?
Well, it reminds me of like the annual pass holders at Disneyland. The really diehard.
Oh, yeah.
Everything sucks. Well, then why do you go there every day?
Yeah.
And just to complain about it online, it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, we, a few years ago, when we first started inviting internet people, bloggers to come to the park here, I actually confronted some of them and I said, why do you profess to be a theme park lover and yet you hate everything that we do here? And you know what? That guy turned himself around. He's a great friend now.
Yeah, they have to hear that.
I really respect. And even his wife was like, thank you for saying that. Because I was like, I go on Mice Chat. I go on all those sites because I'm in the industry and I'm a nerd. Mm-hmm. And it's always interesting, like, it's easy to just tear things down. It's easy.
To judge it when it's not finished,
Oh, that too, right.
There's stuff going up at Disneyland that it can't be put up overnight, so they want to see it.
You should see the hubbub about those crystal spires they're putting on the castle. Everybody hates them. I'm like, they're not even done yet. Yeah. But I'm the same way. Like, I could tell you right now, that new Fantastic Four movie is going to be a complete train wreck. I've not seen a frame of it, but I know it's going to be terrible. Yeah. I just know.
I think a lot of that comes to, like, everyone's so invested into whatever product that they're doing.
Sure.
Someone else creative is messing with it. Everyone thinks they're creative. And everyone thinks, I have an idea of what they should do for this place. And guess what? Someone else is actually in charge. Someone else is going to do it, and it's going to be different. And just because it's different doesn't mean it's wrong.
You know about the Disneyland thing, right? The guy who went to Main Street, City Hall, and said, hey, that Soarin' Over California ride's great. You should put one of those in at Florida. Well, they're putting one in at Florida. He asked for a check.
You're kidding.
No, he's like, that's my idea. I told him to do that. They don't take any written anything anymore now in City Hall. They will do everything in their power to not write it down because of that guy.
Oh,
what a nut.
Yeah, they can't even hear ideas for anything.
No, no. We're like, thank you. Like, well, you can imagine the stuff I get pitched for events here, and I'm like, I can't even listen to it.
Yeah, you were going to sue me.
Yeah, I can't do it. So, anywho, again, it's the Time After Time Popzilla art display. All the information's going to be on the Facebook page, on the 91 Reasons page, the Popzilla page. I am Jeff Tucker, and I have been with
Sam Carter
and Ryan Batchelor.
And go check it out, won't you? And you know who will be there? In addition to all the artists and the sexy girls dressed as Bill and Ted, I will be there. So what more reason do you have to go? So. Well, there you have it, folks. All the information you need, and then some, to attend the Time After Time Tribute to Time Travel and Pop Culture art exhibit, Saturday, May 9th, 2015, at the Popzilla Gallery. You can check it out on Facebook. It's in Anaheim on Harbor and Lincoln, just around the corner from Disneyland. So we hope to see you all there. I will be there in either my Marty costume, or if it's too darn hot, I will wear my Marty costume and then I will take it off and put on my vest, my amazingly stitched vest that my friend Aldo made me. And what does it say on the back? That's right, it says 91 Reasons.
Thanks for listening to 91 Reasons. Please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. Find us on Facebook. Is anyone even still listening?